Hello friends, welcome back to the tetrahedron chemistry classes. So guys, in today's class I am going to discuss another 50 questions of 50 MCQs type of the question on environmental studies, okay, which is must for the first year students, especially for the BTech first year students, okay, and as well as for the other students who are doing their graduations, okay. So I will see like my previous lectures, I have only given you the correct options, okay. So in this lecture also I will give you the correct answer, and whenever required I will also try to explain the things, but not in that much of the detail, because it is not easy to solve 50 questions with great detail, right? So because the length of the video will increase so much, okay. So please focus here. What is your first question? You see, okay, so this is your first question. You can read it here. The largest portion of atmospheric gases by weight is. So it's a very simple and the straightforward question, and answer is here nitrogen, okay. You know, the 78% nitrogen is there in our atmosphere, okay. So out of the 5 options given, option B is the correct one. Now second option, the relative humidity. This is again very important, okay, the relative humidity, and there are lots of options given in that case. See guys, in this question paper you can see some of the mark which I have already made by the student actually. So I'm not going to I'll not go to those options which actually marked by the student, okay, because I have collected this question paper from somewhere, but I'll give you my answer actually, okay. They may be they may go with the answer given by the students, and they may not go, okay. So relative humidity, see lots of options are given here, but according to me the correct answer is the option E, difference in the available water vapors at midnight and at noon, right? So this is the correct option. However, you see the amount of the water vapor present in the atmosphere, it is simply the humidity, not relative humidity, right? It is simply humidity. It is simply humidity, but not relative humidity, okay. So this is your correct option. Then your question number 3, weather patterns are largely determined in the, see it is quite straightforward, troposphere. Troposphere is the the lowest sphere, right, in our environment, and about 80 to 90% weathering actually occurs in the troposphere. So for this your correct option is troposphere. Now you can go for the question number 4. Question number 4 says that seasons are the result of, see you have 4 seasons in an year actually, and how this seasons actually occurs. So what could be the correct option? So lots of options are given here, but I'll go straight to the correct answer, correct option which is given here. So these seasons are results, difference in the amount and the intensity of the sunlight brought about the tilt of the axis. So this is the correct answer in that case. Option number B is the correct answer, right? See, Hadley cells are different, changes in day length is different, phases of the moon is different, right? So correct option is the option number B. But to solve such kind of the questions, actually you should have the basic knowledge of the geography, and frankly speaking, before marking this option as the correct option, I have gone through some of the geography books to understand the things actually, okay. It is not easy for anyone actually to mark all the 50 answers as the correct answer, okay. So it is not easy for anyone actually to select the correct answer in that case. So you have to learn certain things. Now next is question number 5, which says that near the equator the patterns of the conventional currents are called. So see this question again is from your basic geography, if you have studied up to class 8th actually, right? So you will be able to answer this one, right? So near the equator the patterns of the conventional currents, basically they are called by the Hadley cells. They are called as the Hadley cells. So for this the correct answer is the Hadley cells. Now your next question, natural sources of air pollution. This is question number 6. right? Internal combustion engines, no, it is not the natural one. Coal fired electric plants, no, it is not the natural one. Evaporation of solvents is not natural. Birds, not natural. Salt from the sea spray, yes. Cattle, yes. Soil dust, yes. Volcanic, see, these all are the natural things. So option C is looking correct in that case. Now moving to the next question. The dust storm that have the large impacts of the Caribbean. So this is the quite a difficult question actually to answer, but I have searched this question in the Google and I found the correct answer for this one as the option number C, which is what are the result of the poor farming techniques. So these see in the Caribbean, you know, in the Caribbean, actually the West Indies part actually, right? So they have actually different different small countries that they accumulate to form the Caribbean. So the dust storms, so the dust storms that have the large impacts on the Caribbean are the results of the poor farming techniques. But again, it is not easy to answer actually, right? You have to mug all these things. This question is easy, right? Carbon monoxide, what it does actually. So it's quite a straightforward. There is no relation with the ozone layer depletion, and it is also not the major component, right? Extremely damaging to the human blood, yes, it forms the carboxyhemoglobin, and in during your semester classes I have explained the complete mechanism how actually the carbon monoxide poisoning occurs. So option C is looking correct, so you can blindly mark option C as the correct one, while other D and E are the wrong. So now moving to the next. Tropospheric ozone. So this actually this is something different, because you know the ozone is there in the stratosphere. But it is asking about the tropospheric ozone. So what actually the question says in that case, protects the earth from the harmful UV radiation. Yes, it is it does, but it is in the stratosphere. It is in the stratosphere, not in the troposphere. Okay. And then B, binds with the hemoglobin. No, ozone cannot bind with the hemoglobin. C, is produced through the interaction of the heat and light with nitrogen oxides and other carbon containing compounds. This is looking the correct one, but before marking it as correct, I have to go for the other option. It's a primary pollutant. No. Is caused by the poor farming technique. No. So option C is looking the correct option, right? Tropospheric ozone is produced through the interaction of the heat and the light with the oxides of the nitrogen and the other carbon containing compounds. Okay. Now next is lead enters the atmosphere as a particulate pollutant. This is a problem because it, say this question, see, you can mark option C as the correct. Causes the central nervous system malfunction in the human. So during your semester classes I have explained you the how actually the lead poisoning occurs. See, I if you remember, I told you that recently a study actually made in USA. They actually analyzed the samples or blood sample of your young criminals, and they found that in the young criminals' blood there is the excess of the lead actually, right? And this lead actually attacks the nervous system, okay, and which makes the people aggressive. This I have told you in my during the semester examination. So causes central nervous system is the correct answer. Then go for the next one. Radon. Again, this question is not easy to answer. You have to mug out lots of things about this. So radon, you know, it's a rare see, it's a your inert gas, or not inert actually, your noble gas. So what it can does actually, see, radon, see this is the gas actually, radon is the gas, and it causes the respiratory troubles. You should know respiratory troubles. So if you found in the options respiratory problem is there, then you can mark is as the correct one. See, cause the breakdown of the ozone layer. No. May cause that. Yes, option B is looking correct in that case. So you can mark option B as the correct. Okay. Then there comes photochemical smog. Okay, photochemical smog. This is your mm, what differs from the industrial smog? Industrial smog, see what is the photochemical smog? See, photo stands for the light, right? So smog, which is produced on the reaction of the light with actually smoke and other particle matter, that would be your photochemical smog. Is formed in the presence of sunlight? Yes, it is formed in the presence of the sunlight. That's why photolight is there. Has large quantities of shoots. You cannot you cannot mark this as correct. This is also wrong. This is also wrong. This is also wrong. So photo stands for the light actually. It differs from the industrial smog as it is produced by the photochemical oxidation. So you know, in the photochemical smog, the main constituent is what? PEN, peroxyacetyl nitrate actually, right? When you have the oxides of the nitrogens along with the ozone, and in the sunlight they produce PEN, which is the main constituent of the photochemical smog. So is formed in the presence of the sunlight. Okay, then you see next question. The one of the problems that occurs as a consequence of the CFC pollution. CFC is actually chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, freons. Basically, they are freons and they causes ozone layer depletion. Ozone layer depletion. So when they causes the ozone layer depletion, that means it can cause the skin cancer. So if you found the skin cancer or ozone layer depletion in the options, then you can mark this as correct one. Okay, so option A, increase in the skin cancer. Okay, fine. Option A you can mark as the correct one. So this is how this question was easy actually. Now the next is what? Let me check. Option number 14 it is. The great deal of indoor air pollution comes from outdoor pollution. No. Carbon monoxide could be your answer. Cooking could be your answer. Washing dishes cannot be. Carpets. Okay, see guys, this question is quite tricky. See, indoor air pollution actually, if you are actually burning coal, that will give you the CO. So that could be the answer. If you do the cooking, then smoke plus oil vapors, they all are actually causes the pollution. And carpets and the furnitures, they also have the dust, right? So all are looking the correct option in that case. According to my opinion, option C could be the correct one, right? When you consider your developing countries, okay, while in the say in developed countries like USA, this is not a great problem because they have the perfect ventilation things, right? So there the cooking is not a problem, indoor air pollution in the abroad. But see, furniture and carpets, so this D is looking more appropriate one. Okay, you can mark this as D, but marked correct option as D. But according to me, actually, the cooking can also be the correct answer. Okay, so two options are looking correct in that case. But if you go for the more correct one, globally, if you see, then you can mark carpets and the furniture as the correct answer. Then what it says, in the developed countries, the two most deadly sources of the indoor air pollutions. Okay. Let me check what are the options given. Pesticides and cleaning agents, no. Synthetic furniture materials, no. Radiations, no. See, radon and cigarette smoke. So there are certain equipments in which this radon is used actually, inert gas. Okay, and cigarette smoke. Because they actually live the lavish lifestyle and they quickly actually they smoke very frequently. So option D in that case is looking the correct option. Okay, so for 15 option D is looking correct. Then next is what? Bacteria and fungal spores can be included as contributors to the indoor air pollutants. Yes, this could be the answer, but let me check other VOCs. Volatile organic compounds, no. Sources of radon, no. Problems in degrading, no. The cause of, no. So option A is looking correct. contributors to the indoor air pollutant. See, see, basically in the rainy season, there is lot of development of the fungi, right? And they actually, their spores can cause the respiratory troubles and allergy. Respiratory troubles and allergy. So this is a kind of the pollution. Okay, so contribute to the indoor pollutants. So bacteria and the fungal spores can be included as the contributors to the indoor pollutants. Okay, now your next question is particulate matter dispersed as the aerosols. Okay, so what could be the correct answer? Let me check the options. Includes nitrogen oxides. Yes, they may be present, may cause the damage. Yes, option B is the correct one. See, when aerosol, see, asthmatic patients, they suffer a lot with this aerosol. Say they have allergy to the perfumes, and perfumes are what? They are aerosols. Okay, so it may cause the damage to the respiratory tissues when inhaled. Okay, so this is looking the correct one, while this is not correct, this is not correct, is problematic. No, this is not correct. Then what it says, acidic deposition. Acidic deposition simply means acidic rain. Acidic depositions means acidic rain. Causes ozone depletion? No. Is a major component of air? No. Causes eutrophication? No. Often cross national boundaries and creating? Yes. This is something very, very important. See what happens actually when I have actually explained this acid rain phenomenon during your semester classes, and I told you when oxides of the sulfurs and oxides of the nitrogen, they combined with the water vapor, they produce the sulfuric acid, they produce the nitric acid, they produce the HCl, right? And when this smoke actually travels, right, say it travels and crosses boundary, and when they crosses boundary and say deposition occurs, and then acid rain, see it is starting from somewhere here and it travels say 1000 kilometer and crosses the boundary, and deposition occurs in some other country. So obviously a dispute would occur. So often crosses the national boundaries, creating the international disputes. So D is looking the correct option in that case. Okay, is primarily a local problem? No, it is not a local problem near the point source, as this actually smoke travels. Next is what? Which of the following is a consequence of the acidic deposition, that means acid rain? It increases the likelihood? No. It results in offshore eutrophication? No. It creates rainwater that can damage skin cells or cause cancer? This may be the correct answer. Okay, but let me check some other options. It changes the soil chemistry, leaching out important. Yes, option D is the most correct one. See, however, this is also correct. Okay, but it changes the soil chemistry and leaching out important minerals. So this is the more correct option. So option D is looking correct one. Let me check the other one. It increases the rate of global warming? No. So option D is looking correct one. Okay, and then the Coriolis effect. So Coriolis effect, actually for this again you have to have basic knowledge of the geography, only then you can answer this one. Okay, so what it says that for the correct options is caused by the earth rotational forces. So again I have searched this question a lot in textbook actually, and then I found this particular answer. Frankly speaking, I was not aware about this. Okay, so for this, see, please learn or mug this effect, actually Coriolis effect, which is caused by the earth rotational forces. Now see, this is if you know the Coriolis effect, right, and then you will obviously know the answer of this one. So Coriolis effect, basically what it does, actually it contributes to the global wind pattern. So this is the correct one. So if you Google that Coriolis effect, then you will find this thing, the option A actually in the discussion. Okay, so this is the correct one. So rest all you can cross. Then after that, The long-term health effects of indoor air pollution, long-term health effect of indoor air pollution is considered to be the minor hazard compared to the outdoor. No, are not well, and yes, this could be your correct answer, because lot of study, see, not much of the studies has been done on the effect of the indoor air pollution, so you can say it is not actually well understood, and studies are actually underway even now. Okay, so option B is looking correct one, most correct one, most appropriate one. Okay, air near Earth's surface tends to be warmer and wetter than it rises, expanding and cooling. Let me check whether it is correct. It is looking correct. What, when see warmer and drier? No, it cannot be dry. See, near the Earth's surface, air cannot be dry, because Earth, see, your Earth's surface is having the water vapor. It must be wet actually. So this cannot be your correct answer. Then cool, and no, it cannot be cooler near the Earth's surface, because Earth is having the temperature. Cooler and drier, it cannot be drier. Warmer, it rises as its display. No. So the option which actually I was thinking the correct is this one. Near the Earth's surface, your air is warmer and wetter, and then see, it rises up, expanding, and then cooling, and then the precipitation would occur. That means the rainfall. Okay. Then your next question. The most obvious cause of industrial smog. So it is nothing but fossil fuels, burning of the fossil fuels. This I have already told you. Okay, so in that case, in question number 24, you can blindly mark option D as the correct one. Okay, rest all you can skip. Now what it says, you have been hired by a rapidly growing small city to improve air quality, which has deteriorated in the past 10 years. Okay, say for example, you have been given, see, you have assigned a job. Okay, and you are actually the air quality expert, and you have to improve the air quality. So what would be your first suggestion to the country? This is actually the question says. You have been hired by a rapidly growing small city to improve rapidly growing small city, right? There should be the comma here. Okay, to improve the air quality which has deteriorated in the past 10 years, what would be your first suggestion? So transportation that uses fossil fuel like petrol, diesel, all things, right? You have to focus on this, right? Because they are the major contributors in the air pollution. Okay, so try to negotiate with the large city downwind whose factories produce large amount of, no, you cannot negotiate with another city actually. Decrease the, no, this cannot be. CFC actually has nothing to do with the air pollution. Move or close the cattle feed lots near the river. No, this is not the very good solution. Improve the transportation options including carpool lanes, buses and light rails. This could be the correct answer. Okay, so this you will improve the transportation method, right? Instead of using the fossil fuels, you can use say your battery car or battery transportation or electricity, the transports which actually runs on the electricity. You will use those things. Okay, now next, London has instituted what some drivers feel is a draconian solution to the vehicular air pollution, but one which has the attention of many other large cities. Question number 26 actually, right? 25 actually I have answered. So what we can do in that case, London has instituted what some drivers feel is a draconian solution to the vehicular air pollution, but one which has the attention of many other large cities. Banning vehicles which are fuel inefficient. No, this cannot be. Impounding cars and fining drivers who are heavy polluters. This could be, but let me check other option. Raising 5 times bridge and the express tolls. Charging fuel inefficient or polluting vehicles a fee to drive in? Yes, this could be the correct answer. Okay, so what you can do, say you can actually charge some fee to the people actually who are actually contributing the pollution. Okay, so you can take a nominal fee to them. So option D is looking the more correct one in that case. The reason that temperature increases with altitude through most of the stratosphere is, okay, see, if you go in the stratosphere, so what would be the reason for the increase in the temperature? Okay, this is what about the question actually says. So what happens, you see in the troposphere, heat released by the absorption of the UV radiation by the oxygen and ozone. Yes, this could be the correct answer, but let me check other. Sunlight is more intense. No. In a stratosphere it is not very intense. Jet stream, no. Jet stream, winds, frictional heat, no, it cannot contribute. Water vapor levels are very high. No, it is high. Water vapor levels are high in troposphere, not in the stratosphere. Greenhouse gases warm, no. So option A actually is looking the more appropriate in that case. In that case, heat released by the absorption of the UV radiation by the oxygen and the ozone. Okay, this chemistry actually I have explained. You see, depletion, formation, and destruction of O3. I have explained all these things. So this is looking the most correct one. Now next is what? Which of the following statements is or are correct with regard to the carbon monoxide? It is produced in the human body. Yes. It helps in treating sickle cell anemia. Yes. Sickle, see what happens actually when your carbon monoxide combines with the hemoglobin, HB I am writing, right? So it increases the efficiency for the oxygen, right? And this method actually can be used to treat the sickle cell anemia. It acts as a yes, it is a neurotransmitter also. So 1, 2, 3 all are correct. So option A is the correct one in that case. Okay, 1, 2, 3 all are correct in that case. See, carbon monoxide is produced in the human body. This is quite well known fact. Okay, and I'm telling you, it is also used in the treatment of the sickle cell anemia, because when carbon monoxide combines with the hemoglobin, that carboxy hemoglobin has more affinity to react with the oxygen, and the reverse reaction actually would occur. So if the people is suffering with the sickle cell anemia, then you can use that method. And it acts as a neurotransmitter. Yes, it acts as a neurotransmitter, because you know the primary symptoms are what for carbon monoxide, right? Headache, and after headache you say nausea, vomiting, coma, and then death. So it is neurotransmitter. So 1, 2, 3 option A, they are the correct one. Okay, and then you see your question number 29. Desertification can lead to decrease in the food supply. Yes. See, when desertification would occur, that means you cannot grow crops on them. Obviously the food supply would be decreased. So option A is looking correct. Decrease in the water supply. Yes. Desertification, definitely. So when you have the desert and you are not having you don't have to see, when actually the desertification would occur, obviously you will not have much more opportunities in that particular area to live. So you will migrate from there. Loss of jobs, this can be, but it is not actually looking the most correct one. And desertification also cause global warming. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, they all are looking correct one. So all except 4. Yes, 4 is not actually very good one, but this can be included, but it is not a very good option. So you can mark option C is the correct one. Okay, all 4 factors except loss of job is the correct for desertification. Okay, these are the effects of the desertification. Now the next one. Now this is something big. The targets for the first commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol covers emission of the 6 main greenhouse gases. Which of the following gas is not one of them? So for this actually you have to know about the greenhouse gases. So I am telling you what are the greenhouse gases. See, methane is the greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide is the greenhouse gas, okay. Oxides of the nitrogen, NOx, they are the greenhouse gas, especially nitrous oxide, N2O, okay. And water vapors are there. Then CFCs are there. Then SF6, they are also there. So what could be the correct option in that case? See, hydrofluorocarbons, yes, they are actually the CFCs. Okay. So PFCs, they are also the chlorofluorocarbons. SF6, I have already told you. So carbon tetrachloride, CTC, which is actually CCl4. Okay, it's a liquid. Carbon tetrachloride is a very famous liquid organic solvent. So this is not a greenhouse gas. So option A is looking correct in that case, right? Out of the 6 main greenhouse gases, carbon tetrachloride, if you know the chemistry of the carbon tetrachloride or the physical state of the carbon tetrachloride, then you know it is what actually, it is liquid and famous organic solvent, so it cannot be included in the options. So option A is looking the correct option in that case, okay. Now next is what? Which of the following can accelerate the global warming? Rice cultivation actually increases the global warming, because you know you need more water for rice crops, and actually you will have the marshy land here, marshy land, and marshy land produces what? Methane, and methane is a greenhouse gas which can cause the global warming. Cattle breeding, yes, if you do the cattle breeding, in that case again your methane is released, so it is also cause the global warming. Melting of permafrost in the Arctic region, right? Okay, definitely when your permafrost will actually melt, it will cause the global warming, so this is also correct. So in that case all are actually looking the correct one, so you can mark option D as the correct option. 1, 2 and 3. So this is the correct one. Okay. Now next, vermicomposting. It's simply nothing but you use actually worms. You use worms. Okay. So here worms is the options. Vermicomposting is done by the worms. Like you see, you can take the example of the earthworm. They form manure, or say you can say the more fertile soil. So vermicomposting is done by the worms. Next, the group of the organisms which convert light into the food, okay, they are the autotrophs. Autotrophs actually, they are the green plants which uses the sunlight, carbon dioxide and the water, and with the help in presence of the chlorophyll they synthesize food, and food is what? Carbohydrate. Okay, since they are producing foods, so they are the producers, and producers are the autotrophs. So option A is looking the correct in that case. Now you can go for the next question. Which of the following is non-biodegradable? See, vegetables are biodegradable. This cannot be the answer. Fruits are biodegradables. Earthworms are biodegradable. Aluminium foil you cannot biodegrade. So option D is looking correct one. Now next is what? If wastewater contaminate the source of the drinking water, which of the following disease will spread? Let me check the options. Scurvy is actually related to the vitamin C. So this cannot be your correct answer. Malaria is related to the plasmodium, that means mosquito. So this cannot be the correct answer. Anemia is actually the iron deficiency. So this cannot be the answer. This typhoid is the correct option in that case. Okay. So if the waste material contaminates the source of the drinking water, typhoid is likely to spread. This is the correct option. Now moving to the next one. Which of the following problems is not created by the noise pollution? Definitely diarrhea is not, diarrhea is actually waterborne disease. It comes from the water pollution, not from the noise pollution. While this is related to what? Sound pollution, SP, irritation, SP, deafness, see, permanent hearing loss, temporary hearing loss. This I have told you during your noise pollution classes. All these three actually are the effects of the noise pollution, but diarrhea is not. Now next is what? The plants are green because of the presence of the pigment, that is chlorophyll, already marked by the student, option C. So it is the correct chlorophyll. And chlorophyll, you know, it is having magnesium metal. Remember, chlorophyll is the organometallic compound which contains the magnesium metal. Air is composed of gases, water vapors, and obviously dust particles. Snow is not there in the air. Okay, rainfall is not there in the air, light is not there in the air, but dust particles are there. So air is composed of the gases, water vapors, and dust particles. Okay, this is these few questions are actually the easiest one. Chief source of energy in the environment, obviously sun. Whatever we are having, whatever energy we are having, it is due to the sun only. Okay. Then when the trees are cut, amount of the oxygen, obviously marked by the student. See, this is marked by the student. Option A is the correct, and obviously it is correct. Okay, when you cut down the trees, actually when you do the deforestation, then the amount of the oxygen decreases. See, other things can also happen when you cut down the trees, but in the options you see the decreases, increases, both A and B, and remains the same are given. So option A is the correct one. It's an easy one. Process through which the plants produces: eating, no; evaporation, no; pollination. Okay, remember, it is pollination, not pollution. Pollination, you know, when pollens, see, you have the flower A, right, and some insect take the nectar from this and goes to the flower B. So it will spread the pollens from here to here, and this will cause the reproduction in the plants. So pollination is the correct option for 41. 71% of the water, that means 1/3, is covered by the 71% of the earth was covered by water. Option C, already marked as correct option. A natural phenomenon that comes harmful due to the pollution is, what is the natural phenomenon which is very, very harmful? Okay, so you have been given lots of options. You have to find natural. This is the greenhouse. See, it's a tricky question. It's not an easy question. It's a tricky question because you have been given the global warming, but global warming is actually the anthropogenic, man-made. Anthropogenic. Okay, man-made. So this is not natural. Ecological balance, no, this cannot be the answer. Desertification is also anthropogenic. Anthropogenic, that is man-made. Okay, so only thing left is what? Greenhouse effect. Okay, and I have told you the concept of the greenhouse effect in detail during your semester classes. Then question number 44. The pollutant responsible for the ozone holes: chlorofluorocarbons. Correct option. Okay. One of the best solution to get rid of the non-biodegradable waste: burning, no; dumping, no; burning, no; recycling is the best option, already marked by the student. Animal dung, it is biodegradable. Biodegradable. Option A is correct. Which of the following is the biodegradable? Iron nails, no; plastic mugs, no; silver foil, no. Okay, leather belts. The leather comes from the skins of the animals. Skins of animals, and you know all animal material or the plant material is biodegradable. So option C is looking the correct one. Name one non-biodegradable waste. which may pollute the earth to the dangerous level of toxicity if not handled properly. It is nothing but radioactive substances. See, in your nuclear plants and in your power generating systems, actually, if you are not using these radioactive substance properly, so it may give the toxicity which would be very, very dangerous for the upcoming generation. So for the question number 48, you can straightforward mark your radioactive substances. Okay. However, see, this option A is also looking the very close one, but according to me, this radioactive substances is actually the more dangerous. 49. Which of the following is non-biodegradable? Animal bones biodegradable. Nylon actually is what? It's a synthetic material. It's a synthetic material. Okay, so it cannot be biodegradable. By rest all are biodegradable. Okay. Now your next question, which is last one. Name the substances whose accumulation in the pelicans of the Lake Michigan led to the formation of thin shells of their eggs. So I already told you, eggs of any bird is actually made, eggshell actually, right? I can write eggshells of animal made up of the calcium, and when DDT poisoning occurs, then it will check the formation of the calcium and eggs becomes fragile, so it is due to the DDT. So if you read the question initially, name the substance whose accumulation in the pelicans of the Lake Michigan, then you will find, oh, what is this? But if you read the question completely, then you will find, okay, it is related to the eggshells, and eggshells actually composed of the calcium, and DDT poisoning checks the formation of the calcium. It's a DDT poisoning, so you can mark this as the correct option. These are the 50 questions which are very, very important for your upcoming examination. Okay guys, so that's it for this particular lecture, and I'll meet you in the next lecture with some other questions.